Hi, I'm Dustin Lukey. Welcome to another edition of Hometown Conversations. We're working to bring together community members to speak freely and openly about ways we can all make real, lasting change in our community. We want to be a platform of education, understanding, and empathy. I'm here today with Mai Chor Lee and Andy Vang. Thank you both for joining me.
Thank you, Dustin.
Thank you.
We're here on the eve, as we're talking, of Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, a month to recognize the contributions that people from your background have given to our society. And I was talking to Andy about this before we started. I grew up in La Crosse. I had Hmong friends growing up. I have Hmong friends now. It's just, to me, it's always been a part of the La Crosse culture, the fabric of our society, to have this community, this diverse community. But that hasn't always been the case. Just 50 years ago, for example, it looked a lot different. I guess, what has been your experience growing up being a part of this community?
Sure. I guess I can.
Yeah, go ahead.
Again, we came to this city in 1986, but many of the Hmong refugees came to this country around 1980. And so, again, our family as well, we faced difficulties, just adjusting to Western society, early on. But, again, as kids grew, we, like myself, I've lived there for 30 plus years. And, again, this is a fantastic city. We love it. We love that the broader community embraces us. The Hmong community is the fabric of La Crosse, of the La Crosse community, and so we're indebted, and we're very happy to be here. I have nothing but great things to say about the people here. Again, good-hearted, charitable. Gosh, again, all kinds of great adjectives that you can say. I can go on and on, but again, this city here. We don't see the Hmong community moving out because, we enjoyed here. Again, we feel part of the community, and that sense of being part is crucial for us being able to be here. And so, again, we're grateful to be here, Dustin.
Yeah. And Mai Chor, you've worked at the health department for the last 19 years, you were telling me.
Right.
What's been your experience? What have you seen over the years?
Over the years, I've seen the La Crosse community grew as in terms of more, I guess, more vibrant, more open-minded. Because I feel like culture is changing. Because if I were to listen to my husband's story, in the year of 1984, he would say, yeah, kids would beat us up because we're different. And at that time, there weren't many Hmong kids around, maybe in the early 80s. So yeah, from walking home from school, kids would wait for us and try to beat us up, and all we could do is fight back. But then now I feel that, we're changing, definitely. I feel that everybody, it's like, okay, well, let's prevent that from happening. And let's try to put something in place. So I feel like, we are really growing as a community. And that's awesome to see.
Just to piggyback kind of off what you said, Mai Chor, differences have kind of come to the forefront over this past year, especially with COVID-19 has tested us all in so many ways. But there's some significant test, I imagine, being somebody of Asian American heritage, given some of the rhetoric that's surrounded COVID-19, has that affected your daily lives in any way?
Again, locally here, the La Crosse Hmong community has not, and again, we're thankful because I think it's the community itself. Okay? And again, La Crosse, again, doesn't stand for hate and stuff. So again, we don't see it here, but again, when you say systemic racism, yes, it's around, but anti-Asian hate, or what you see the rhetoric from politicians and from even the former president, it's not helping the cause, and so if we can just educate as well as just help each other, I think we can go far. And again, if people can read through the lines and see that it's rhetoric, it's propaganda, then hopefully they can see through that, what is being reported or shared online is not true, and they do their own homework, to be better people,
And I think, and for me, this is just coming from me and my little family. I just felt that, watching all the news about all of these things, Asian hate, I'm just like scared for my elders, I'm scared for my parents, I'm scared for my kids. It's because with all of these going on, I just feel like it just kind of stirred the pot, stir on the fire. So then I'm just like, wherever that you go, please, watch your surroundings, stay aware, be aware, because it's just, I don't know, that's always on the back of my head, what will that be happening to me? I don't know, would that be happening to my elders? I mean, I don't know, but it's almost like, that is a precaution that I have to live with it every day.
And while that's a reality, I guess right now, that shouldn't necessarily have to be a reality.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
So how do we,
Right.
I guess, how can we help getting back to that?
Yeah, I think, I think all of us, we are different in our own ways. We are proud of our heritage. Again, the Chinese are proud of their heritage. The Japanese, the Koreans. So, all of the different ethnicities, again, we're Asian by descent, but again, we have our differences. And so hopefully, we don't get quantified as one big group, And so I think the best way to tackle this issue is, I think just promoting heritage, And so if this, Asian Pacific, Islander, Heritage Month, then, again, let's promote all of the heritages, the people that are part of that group, and show, their cultures and what they represent.
And then I was also going to echo on that. I was going to say that, if you are not sure, why don't you ask the questions instead of assuming people that, hey, you're from China. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Why don't you just ask the questions? Hey, would you mind telling me a little bit about your background? Or ask the questions. I think that's what it is. Ask questions. If you are not sure, don't assume.
Yeah, I think here, you guys, again, there's no dumb question. Again,
Right.
we've,
Right.
in the last 30 years, we've learned, that there's no dumb question. People, the best thing is to ask questions. And again, we're not offended. I think in bigger cities there may be issues, but again, here in La Crosse, we're open. And so ask the question. We'll do our best to answer. And if we can't, then we'll refer you guys to groups or people that can answer.
Sure. I think just for so long, at least from my understanding in the white culture, it's been don't talk about race. You pretend that it doesn't exist, but that's not what we're seeing now. And we're trying to have some of these conversations about our background for that education purpose, it seems.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's the only way, Dustin, is education. I mean, we've come a long ways from the 80s. There's been so much, education and promotion from, the county agencies, from the state of Wisconsin, just, helping people better understand the different people living, in the state, and so that's key, where I think, the more we know, the better we feel.
Yeah. And embracing that in a way, I think growing up, I didn't see this as much as I do now, but seeing the Hmong language on a lot of official signs and documents and things like that. How has that helped with your culture, your families, your heritage, being just able to see that and have that so readily available?
I mean, for me, I think, the Hmong language is pretty simple, and Mike Short can, elaborate. It's alphabet-based, and so again, when you have Mormons from Utah that can learn the language in 6 months, come here and speak fluently to a grandma and a grandpa, and their eyes are just like this. That is the greatest feeling. Is when I can see these Caucasian missionaries from the Mormon Church getting sent here to do their job, but they spend 6 to 9 months learning the Hmong language because it's alphabet-based, so it's not hard, And so, again, it's great to see our language out there. It is a simple language. We're trying to teach our own kids now so they don't lose their tongue. But again, it is a beautiful language that we are proud of. And again, we're thankful that it's not too hard to learn, you know.
Right. For some people, it may be very difficult because they're like, it sounds like music. Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Yes, the tonation sounds like
Yeah.
music. But it can be learned. It definitely can be learned.
Yeah, and with that is, I mean, like I said, I grew up with Hmong classmates and friends, but I didn't really feel like I learned a lot about their heritage or their culture. Is that something you'd like to see more in schools? And I guess is something you're working toward, even language being taught?
Yeah, you know, again, I guess this is a tough topic because again, it's based on the school district, the curriculum, I think the city, the university, the school districts, I think they've tried. And so again, it's definitely up to leadership to decide if this is something worthwhile. But yes, as myself, as a parent now, as someone that has grown up here for the last 30 years, oh yeah, absolutely. I would love to have our language taught or available to be taught to, white kids, black kids, that want to learn,
And then for me to see that they are celebrating Hmong New Year. In the school system, wow, it's like, and then my little guy, it's like, I want to dress up in Hmong clothes.
Yeah.
And that is just so exciting. I didn't see that about 20 years ago.
No. Yeah.
So, now I'm like, almost every school is celebrating Hmong New Year. That is so awesome. That is such a good feeling.
I think we're making progress, in our local community. And again, that progress, like I told you, beforehand, that, again, this La Crosse area community is unique because I think, they know how to make it work. And so what has to make it work is, again, all parties involved, whether governmental, school districts, university, we all work together. And, again, I think, we all embrace the Hmong community here where we help each other. And I think that's why, we're able to sustain this long. And again, we see 30, 40 more years here, again, we don't see the Hmong community leaving at all.
Yeah, very much a part of the fabric of La Crosse. And I wanted to get into that with the Hmong New Year celebration. It's always, seemingly, from when I've been able to attend it, a wonderful, wonderful community celebration. How would you advise people from the white community to feel more comfortable coming and celebrating with you?
Yeah, that is one of the questions that some of my co-workers would say, do I just pop in or what? And I said, yeah, anybody is welcome to come in. Yeah. Anybody is welcome to come and celebrate the New Year with us. We are open to everyone in every city. And then, like I said, yeah, a lot of people, people do show up from different cities, and people from the cities will come and celebrate with us, our families, friends, and everybody. So so come and join us.
Yeah, again, I think if you asked this question 30 years ago, I think the answer would be different. Or again, I think there would be space between. But the Hmong New Year celebration has been commercialized now, and so again, it's Americanized as well as commercialized now. And so again, we have to cater to everyone, And so that model now works. Again, I think the Hmong Cultural and Community Agency, HCCA, they've known to adapt their business model to again change it to, again, we have to cater to the entire community and not just Hmong participants or Hmong attendees, because when you do that, then you're selecting or you're being biased. And so again, here, yes, we welcome everyone, and again, we hope that the entire community come and support our Hmong New Year's, because, we are part of the community, and we want you guys to be part of our community as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how do you find that balance then, trying to integrate into a community, but keep your own heritage? Because I imagine that might be difficult, especially for older generations.
Yeah, it is.
I think for the older generation it is, because they want to keep it very traditional. But for somebody who's like my age or maybe younger, we want to keep what we like from the traditional and then adapt to what is that we like from the Caucasian or from the Western and combine the two together and make our own. So I really like that.
You're finding that balance then.
Yeah.
That balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, we don't see that hard at all with the younger generation. But again, yes, it's always education to our elders so they can better accept that change is here and that they have to accept it. Even though most of them will not accept it or find it hard to accept. We as younger kids, we will tell our parents or our grandparents that this is how it is 2021. And so you guys need to adapt. Because we can't live in the old times anymore. And so usually that works.
Yeah. Do you feel like your kids have Hmong role models in the community to look up to now?
I think to me, I feel like it starts in the home.
Sure.
So I feel like, I feel like as a parents, they are probably their biggest role model. If you ask my kids when they were younger, they were probably not going to agree. But now that they're older, they're probably, yeah, I think my mom or my dad is my role model. So I feel like it starts in the home.
Yeah. And, for us, again, having people from our community, the Hmong community, be successful either in the private sector or, having a doctorate degree, so again, here in town, one of my mentors was, Dr. B. Lowe, again, he was the one that spearheaded, without him, I wouldn't be where I am today because, he was that trailblazer, being the sole dedicated person, putting himself in or making the sacrifices that is needed to help a community grow. And so, for him to obtain that, doctorate degree in, medicine, again, makes us proud, but also we know that, he went through what he went through to be able to help us. And so, yes, having those people around here, the Hmong professionals, whether nurses or, doctors here, these are the role models that we need to promote so our kids can see that if they can do it, then, then we can do it,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I just feel like there's still a lot of work to be done, as you mentioned, with people educating themselves. So I guess what's the best resource outside of something like Hmong New Year? Where can people go to find more about the Hmong culture and learn about their neighbors?
Sure. Yeah. Again, we have this, this nonprofit group called Van Council of Crosse. Again, much are part of. Again, we, our intention is to, better promote the Hmong community, the Hmong culture, and hopefully have a better race relation here in town. We are concerned about just La Crosse and La Crosse County. And again, I think if we can help ourselves first and make that a good model, I think then we can bring that out, across the state. But, again, if you can't take care of yourself, then you can't take care of the rest, is how we see it, And so, our, Van Council of Crosse, we have resources, that we can provide to help, people that want to know more about the Hmong culture, the Hmong people here in La Crosse. Another great, resource is the Hmong Cultural and Community Agency or center, the Hmong Center that we have in town. That too is the center point. And so in town, again, even though they've had some challenges, that is the center point for our Hmong community, where most of the history, the pictures, the arts and crafts, embroidery, they're all there. So you can walk in and go from one side of the building to the other and see the history of the Hmong people.
Yeah. And then one of the other places could be Gyeshia too. Gyeshia, it's another younger organization out there, really trying to promote our youth. So they are great out there. So,
but again, Van Council, we help promote the Hmong culture. But again, we're inclusive. We promote diversity. Where again, if we have people that ask, regarding people of Muslim descent, or African American, we have networks that we can plug them to, because our group here, again, we believe in diversity, inclusion, and community. And so if we all can live together and get along, I think we'll have a better community, a better place to live in.
Yeah, I keep going back to this metaphor. We're sitting near the blue bridges, and they're such a symbol of La Crosse. But it seems like this is a community that wants to build those bridges.
Yes.
Is that is that something you feel?
Absolutely,
Yes,
you know.
definitely.
Yeah, 30 years ago, you know, probably not.
Yeah.
But again, you know, 2021, 30 years later, yes, you know, we have to, you know, it's a process that needs to be done. And again, I think we're making strides from the Hmong community. You know, I can't comment on the Black community or the Latino community or any other race in town.
Right.
But again, we do try to work with each other, and we network and, you know, try to collaborate. But again, you know, from the Hmong community side, yes, you know, bridges, you know, as a description, yes, you know, it is needed for this La Crosse community as a broader community to be able to take that next step, you know, to where, you know, other cities that have made it, you know, we need to do that. But I think for us, the Hmong community, you know, we are for it and we embrace it, you know.
Mm-hmm. And what are some of the challenges you still hear from the community with regard to race relations?
I know. Yeah, go ahead if you could think of anything.
Yeah, you know, I think just fighting through again the typical Asian stereotypes.
Characterization.
Yeah. Again, you know, those are always hardest to break. You know, break the barriers. You know, again, I think you know, just because you know we are of Asian descent, and again, like what we talked earlier, you know, they assume that we're this ethnicity, and you know, without asking. So again, you know, we get you know, there's racist remarks or there's racist incidents done, and so you know, you can't build bridges or you can't make progress when there, you know, you have bad apples there, you know, and so we need to make sure that we fix the process first and educate, you know, those that don't know, and so that way we can minimize those types of incidents, you know. But yes, you know, again, you know, if we can do that, where you know we can minimize those types of hate incidents or issues in town, I think we can, you know, we can get to where you know we don't have, you know, where we have better race relations.
Well, how do you answer those people who say, well, it's only words? Well, are you being sensitive to this? It's just, I mean, I'm not somebody who actually goes out and perpetuates violence. I'm just saying that. How do you answer people like that?
It's a great question, Dustin. You know, words are hurtful, but again, I think, you know, as long as there's an understanding, the key thing is, you know, again, if they're open to education and us, you know, informing them of the truth, then I think there is ways to broker, you know, friendship and you know, make amends. But if they aren't open and they're keen on that, you know, that theory or that concept, then yes, then it's hard, and it would be a waste of time to try to educate those types of people, you know. And so words, yes. So to answer your question, you know, the only way is to talk, you know, sit down and have a friendly conversation saying, you know, why do you feel that way? And, you know, what do you know of us or of our culture? And then, you know, answer all the questions that they have.
Right. The other thing that I could think of is, you know, because food is always a, I don't know, personal, yet it brings people together.
Right.
So,
Yes.
you know, so I mean, to me, yeah, I do agree with Andy said, you know, maybe having a dinner with different food, and then we could all sit around the dinner table and talk about the differences, even talk about the food. Hey, what do you put in your dish, you know? So I mean,
And then where that comes from.
exactly. Even though we're so different, and even though we have different colors and things like that, I feel that we still have so many things in common. The connection is still there. We just don't make it connect. You know, we just don't make it connect. I feel that we are so connected in so many ways.
Yeah. I mean, we're all just trying to make this home.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. So I guess it doesn't matter what color is your skin. The point is we're all human.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Our hearts all beat the same.
Exactly.
Our minds
And we
all
still
think.
bleed the same.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you both for taking the time to share your views and your perspective with us in this hometown conversation. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Dustin.